It's been a historic day across the United States with one of the most intense hurricanes making a landfall across the U.S. Gulf Coast. It basically had the lowest pressure we have been seeing, at least for a few years. Only two systems have basically had lower pressures making landfall across the southern United States. And obviously it being the most intense one across the Florida Panhandle. Winds of 250 kilometers per hour, just shy of Category 2, which is just 252. So we basically are splitting hairs here as it makes its way towards inland and then out towards the northeast. It will continue to bring damage, not only from the winds, which obviously will down power lines as well as uproot trees. We'll likely continue to see the rainfall as well. Possibly a foot or more of rainfall as we go through the next few days. Flash flooding is likely, and that will continue up to the east coast as well, through Georgia and up to Charlotte and into Wilmington. So obviously they're also watching the system quite closely. Even though it comes down to a tropical storm by late on Thursday going into Friday, it will likely still have a few hurricane gusts thrown in there as well. Now there are three systems. We have Nadine out there in the Atlantic posing no threat to us. We also have Leslie up towards in the Atlantic. Again, both systems are no threat to land, and obviously we'll be watching those as we go through the next few days. But for Trinidad, a couple of thundery downpours across western areas. A lot of the moisture is pushing through. That moisture will likely begin to thin as we go through Thursday, going up towards the north. We did have a low-level trough passing us, and we have an upper-level trough, which will likely begin to shift to the east. So that one will likely provide less rainfall as we go through the next few days. So for Tobago then, just occasional showers are passing through. Most of the showery activity should be clearing us as we go through the afternoon. Bearing in mind, you may just see that one moderate shower as you go through the heat of the day. Now for Trinidad, a settled night for quite a few of you. Only a few brief showers up towards the north around Maraval into Port of Spain. And again, it will likely be a sunny start, but the daytime heating kicks in, sparking those showers that will likely erupt into some thundery downpours around western areas as usual, and down towards the southern areas to San Fernando as well as Point Fortin, the likelihood of a heavy shower around the Gulf of Paria. Temperature-wise, 25 degrees Celsius by night, 32 by day in Trinidad, and you'll see 32 for Friday as well as into Saturday, possibly pushing up to 33 with a bit more sunshine to come through the weekend. And also pretty much settled conditions for Friday and Saturday for Tobago. Now offshore, the swells from the east will be shifting to the north-northeast, also lengthening as well to 12 seconds. Also likely lead to waves building to 2 meters offshore through the Caribbean and the Atlantic, so be mindful of the change in the swells as you head out. For the Eastern Caribbean, we've been talking about basically this low-level trough. Towards the Central Caribbean, we had one tropical wave passing Jamaica, but there's still a lot of moisture hanging around, and that will likely lead to a few of those showers that are turning heavy and thundery around Hispaniola and also Jamaica. So thunderclouds for Santo Domingo, Kingston and Port-au-Prince, a few damp spots for Havana. Towards the Eastern Caribbean, we still will likely see a lot of the moisture for Barbados and St. Vincent up towards St. Lucia and Dominica. But for St. John's and Bastille, it clears up quite nicely despite the shear line there, just a abrupt change in wind direction, but only a couple of brief showers expected for the northern Leeward Islands. So that's your weather, and that's it from me.